The secrets, which, for decades had been hidden from the public, suddenly came to light by after UFOs started to make a mainstream presence. Stick with us to get to see UFO landings that were made out in the open.
Dude, that's a UFO. Dude, it just disappeared.
While waiting in the boarding area at Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport in 2023, a woman witnessed something strange in the sky, a balloon-shaped object gliding silently through the air. There were no visible wings or engines, only a metallic body moving steadily in a horizontal direction. What stood out was the complete silence as it traveled. Unlike typical aircraft, which usually produce sound from engines or air disturbance, this object made no noise at all. It didn't follow any normal flight path, and its steady, careful movement across the sky was unexpected near an airport. With no visible means of propulsion, its controlled, silent glide left those who saw it puzzled. Unexpected sky visitor. During a lively harvest festival in Gervais, a group of friends caught something bizarre on camera. As they filmed the splash of a giant pumpkin dropped into a water tub, a disc-shaped object zipped across the sky, appearing just as the pumpkin hit the water. The craft moved with an eerie precision, covering an immense distance in seconds, yet remained clearly visible in the footage without any sign of blur. What stood out the most was the complete silence. Despite its incredible speed, there was no sound or sonic boom. Its quiet, rapid flight added an unsettling element to the scene. Alien in the sky. While riding a bus home in Canada, a woman casually recorded the view from her window, never imagining she'd capture something so unusual. In the footage, a strange alien figure appeared, with a large head and robotic body, unlike anything human. It hovered above the city, moving erratically and in a way that didn't fit any normal flight pattern. The figure seemed frantic, darting around, almost like it was in a rush. With its robotic features and unpredictable motion, it was clear this wasn't something ordinary in the sky. Floating mystery. In Seattle, a woman on her balcony spotted a tiny flying saucer darting between tall buildings. It wasn't a bird or a plane, it was a real UFO. The little spaceship zipped around, moving as if it was late for an intergalactic meeting. It twisted through the city, dodging corners and disappearing behind skyscrapers. Before anyone could get a good look, it vanished, leaving everyone stunned. Seattle had its brush with a space adventure, sparking excitement across the city. From that day on, residents kept their eyes on the sky, hoping to catch another glimpse of the mysterious alien visitor. Biblically accurate UFO. An airport ground crew member in a high visibility vest was signaling with batons when something unexpected appeared in the sky. A strange ball-like object. Curious, someone zoomed in with their S23 phone, revealing a walnut-shaped UFO. The odd object hovered, wiggling slightly and spun slowly, showing off its bumpy surface. It seemed as if it was either waiting for a plane to race, or the aliens inside were lost, searching for a space airport. The crew quickly recorded the bizarre sight, ensuring they had an incredible story to share. The mysterious UFO left everyone on the tarmac buzzing with excitement and wonder. Rotating UFO sighting. Captured on a quiet countryside road in Scotland, showing a peculiar unidentified flying object hovering mid-air, rotating in a perfect circle. The object has an otherworldly appearance, gliding with an unnatural precision, almost as if it's studying the surroundings. Four long, pipe-like extensions protrude from its top, giving it an even stranger look. Despite its mechanical features, the UFO remained completely silent, with no visible means of propulsion. Its smooth, deliberate movement and complete lack of sound left witnesses wondering what it really was and why it was there. Whether it's an advanced surveillance tool or something beyond our understanding, this sighting challenges everything we know about technology and flight. Hovering craft anomaly. In the skies over Hudson Valley, a triangular-shaped craft was captured hovering silently, setting dogs off into frantic barking. This sensitivity might indicate the craft emits certain frequencies or energy fields that are undetectable to humans but alarming to animals. Jaime Maussan, a well-known UFO enthusiast and expert, filmed the craft as it slowly rotated on its axis, remaining perfectly still in mid-air. Unlike typical aircrafts, it didn't drift or shift, almost as if it was held in place by some unknown force. Despite rotating, there was no engine hum or sound at all, leaving the witnesses in disbelief at what they were witnessing in the sky. A family captured footage of a strange disc-shaped UFO appearing right after a flash of lightning. The sighting was unlike anything they had seen before. As the lightning lit up the dark sky, the UFO suddenly emerged, almost as if it had been powered by the storm itself. The disc floated above them, glowing with flickering lights around its edges. This glow wasn't like typical lights, it pulsed in an uneven, almost organic way, shifting unpredictably. The UFO appeared with no warning and vanished just as quickly, leaving the family in shock. Have you ever witnessed something like this? Let us know in the comments below. Military pilots were taken aback when a strange disc-shaped craft appeared, gliding in a steady pendulum-like motion across the sky. Captured on camera in 2008, this silver metallic disc moved without any usual flight sounds or disruptions. As it reached the top of its swing, the disc abruptly plunged into a dense cloud and vanished without a trace. The craft left nothing behind, as if it seamlessly merged with the sky. Its sudden disappearance baffled the pilots, who watched it dissolve completely within the cloud, leaving them with nothing to track. Experts are puzzled as to whether the cloud served as some kind of escape route, or if the disc possessed an unusual method of concealment. Mysterious disc craft. During a short flight from California to Los Angeles, a girl spotted something unexpected, a disc-shaped spacecraft hovering between the clouds. Captured on camera from her window seat, the craft glowed with an unusual golden light in broad daylight. This was strange because, unlike typical aircraft, it wasn't just reflecting sunlight, it appeared to be emitting its glow. Even more puzzling, for a brief moment, the craft hovered completely still in mid-air, an odd sight since most objects in flight are constantly moving or adjusting. UFO sightings are usually reported at night, not during the day, making this even more remarkable. After a short time, the craft simply disappeared, leaving no trace or indication of where it went. Zigzag light mystery. One evening, a young girl from Miami was on her way home after grocery shopping when she spotted an unusual green light high up in the sky. At first glance, it seemed like the object was moving in a zigzag pattern, giving it an almost erratic look. But as she zoomed out with her phone to capture a better view, it became evident that the light was very far away and possibly stationary, or at most, barely shifting. Its movement seemed more like an illusion caused by the light's unique interaction with the atmosphere, creating a puzzling effect. Disappearing disc craft. While capturing the landscape of the sky in Rome, a young boy accidentally filmed a strange UFO. The object remained completely still in the sky for an unknown amount of time. As it suddenly appeared in the frame, the UFO's disc-shaped body emitted a bright light that quickly illuminated its surroundings. This burst of light was almost instant, and the object then shot back into the sky at an incredible speed, disappearing just as quickly as it had appeared. Unlike most aerial phenomena, this UFO didn't fade away gradually, but instead vanished with a sudden burst of acceleration. Its stillness, followed by sudden movement, gives the impression that it is reacting to something, possibly even aware of the camera. Flickering light pattern.
Acercalo poco a poco, guajón.
In early dawn over Sweden in 2012, a strange sighting was captured. A craft hovering close to the ground, blinking with an unusual, unpredictable light. The media arrived quickly and recorded the scene, but curiously, it was never aired. Unlike the typical disc-shaped craft, this one had visible mass inside, with features like a beam emitter and what appeared to be a cockpit cover. The blinking light flickered in a rhythmic pattern, unlike any known aircraft light sequence, leading witnesses to believe it might be communicating or sending a signal.
Acercalo poco a poco, huevón.
Abduction footage. This might be the strangest human abduction case caused by an extraterrestrial craft ever recorded, because the man who recorded this footage is the one who was abducted. In 2017, a man in Ireland was sitting in his backyard when he captured a multi-disc UFO hovering unnervingly close to the ground. The craft had 3 rotating discs that moved independently, yet remained connected as part of a larger structure. One of the smaller discs, equipped with a beam emitter, approached the man and released a powerful blinding light. Within moments, the footage abruptly cuts off, and the man disappears without a trace. The intensity of the light seems to have caused the sudden disappearance, something no ordinary technology could explain. Erratic light sequence. In 2011, a man in Brazil captured footage of a mysterious craft that initially seemed like an ordinary airplane, but it quickly became clear this was no ordinary flight. The object had a colorful pattern that set it apart, and behind it were lights of different colors blinking erratically, visible even through thick fog. As the lights blinked in a strange sequence, lights suddenly grew larger, and then without warning, the craft vanished from sight. The way the lights changed and intensified made it seem like the UFO was manipulating its visibility on purpose. Its disappearance after the lights grew more intense suggests the craft used an advanced method to conceal itself. Unlike a typical aircraft, it didn't follow any familiar flight path. Coordinated UFO dance.
UFO.
This footage from Florida shows a mysterious light entity that released 5 smaller orbs that seemed to drop down in a perfectly straight line. Then, 2 of the orbs veered off to the left and 2 to the right, while the last one remained directly beneath the main light, creating a balanced, symmetrical pattern. The movements were synchronized in a way that looked carefully controlled, as if each orb had a specific path to follow. The light entity then descended slowly onto the final orb, merging into it and glowing a little brighter before it completely vanished. The way the light entity descended suggests some form of energy transfer or communication. This type of interaction has not been observed in typical UFO sighting.
UFO.
Military base intruder. A mysterious event was caught on footage when an unidentified craft entered a military base. At first, it looked like a bulky missile flying close to the ground, but then it suddenly slowed down and started spinning in a circular motion. As it turned, the object revealed its true form, a sleek, disc-shaped UFO. This kind of sudden change isn't something you'd expect from typical missiles or aircraft. After showing its true form, the UFO shot off at an unbelievable speed, disappearing into the sky without a trace. Many users from the internet suggest that UFOs are deliberately appearing near military sites to test how humans respond to their presence. Baffling sky event. In 2004, a man in Germany witnessed an unusual event while taking a break by the side of the road. A corn-shaped craft with sharp, pointy edges gilded incredibly close to the ground. This kind of flight is highly unusual, as most flying objects tend to avoid such crowded spaces for safety reasons. The craft moved in a strange, erratic pattern with no apparent purpose or destination, which only added to the confusion of the moment. Even more baffling, after being spotted, the craft simply vanished without a trace, leaving no clear indication of where it went or how it managed to disappear. Mysterious blue light. A few years ago, during an early morning walk in Franklin County, a man witnessed something unusual, a coin-shaped UFO hovering just above the rooftops, casting a soft blue glow around its edges. Without warning, it shot a beam of light directly downward, though nothing appeared to be affected below. After a brief moment, the craft shot up into the sky and vanished in the blink of an eye. The UFO's ability to float effortlessly above the rooftops before shooting up into the sky without any visible propulsion system is highly unusual. Its sudden disappearance after emitting a focused beam suggests it might have been monitoring or interacting with something specific on the ground. While driving through a quiet area in Mexico, a FedEx delivery driver stopped his van when something caught his eye on the side of the road. He zoomed in to capture a coin-shaped object hidden between the bushes, its smooth silver body reflecting the sunlight. It's unclear how long the craft had been there, but its hidden position gave the impression it was waiting for the right moment to show itself. The craft remained motionless, maintaining a calm and controlled presence before disappearing, leaving no trace of its brief appearance.
La verga.
Mysterious Siberian object.
What is that?
In the quiet landscapes of Siberia, a local witnessed a strange sight, a disc-shaped craft hovering unusually close to the ground. Moving at a steady pace, the craft spun slowly in a circular motion, as if carefully surveying the area below. Unlike other UFOs that dart around quickly, this one moved with intention, emitting a soft, pulsing white light. Even in broad daylight, the light blended in smoothly, as if it was trying not to draw attention. The remoteness of Siberia has led many to believe that the Russian government might be aware of such sightings, but chooses not to publicly acknowledge them. This has fueled conspiracy theories suggesting that authorities may be hiding information about extraterrestrial encounters in the region.
What is that?
Circular light phenomenon. In 2014, something extraordinary was captured in the skies of South Korea. A glowing circular light ring surrounded a UFO, giving it the appearance of a halo. This ring stayed perfectly steady, creating an eerie visual unlike anything seen in typical aerial phenomena. Upon closer look, the object itself appeared to be orb-shaped. The halo and the orb seemed to work together, creating a seamless visual effect that was far from ordinary. Strangely, the UFO and its halo were only visible from certain angles, suggesting that something may have been blocking the view from other perspectives, and the users from the internet believed that the object was hiding its full shape. Strange aerial chase.
Oh my gosh! What is that?
The residents of Lake County witnessed a strange event in the night sky. In 2016, a helicopter appeared to be chasing an unidentified flying craft that was emitting a bright green light, sharply contrasting against the dark backdrop of the sky. The craft wasn't fully visible, but its glowing green hue was unmistakable and far more intense than typical lights. The UFO and helicopter were aligned in a straight line, almost as if the helicopter was tracking the craft. Within seconds, the UFO vanished without a trace, leaving the helicopter behind. People are convinced that the sudden disappearance of the craft and its unusual behavior in the sky make this sighting one of the more perplexing and unexplained aerial events.
Oh my gosh! What is that?
Hovering over Giza. Egypt has always been a hotspot for UFO sightings, and this footage adds to that mystery. While visiting the Great Pyramid of Giza, a tourist captured a strange sight, a pyramid-shaped metallic craft hovering directly above the pyramid. What stands out is how the craft was positioned. It was upside down, with its point perfectly lined up with the pyramid's point. The craft then spun in circles while staying completely still in the air, moving in a way that defies normal flight patterns. The odd positioning of the craft above the pyramid seems more than just a coincidence. It raises the possibility that the craft has some connection to the ancient structure, possibly tied to the pyramid's own unknown origins or purpose. Unexplained landing event.
Not when I was a kid, but not now. My God.
In 2021, a man from Canada witnessed something truly unexpected while on his family farm at night. As he was recording, he noticed an unidentified object landing behind some trees. The craft's full appearance was obscured, but its lights were visible and remained on throughout the event. From his vantage point, it appeared to hover just above the ground before slowly descending, staying in place for a moment before finally touching down. This unusual behavior set the object apart, as it didn't descend quickly like most aircraft. What's even more striking is that the entire event took place in complete silence, with no engine noise and no movement sound. The steady lights on the craft suggested a power source, unlike typical aircraft.
Not when I was a kid, but not now. My God.
Orb and Vortex. This footage shows a metallic orb-like entity hovering near what looks like a vortex opening. A beam of light extended from the vortex to the orb, growing brighter and causing ripples in the air. The orb appeared distorted, as if affected by forces we can't see. This sight points to something bigger. Aliens might be using these portals to travel undetected, possibly even living among us without us realizing it. The bright beam and the ripple effect suggest this isn't just a normal atmospheric phenomenon, but something more deliberate and controlled. The way the orb interacts with the vortex hints at a silent exchange, making it clear that something far beyond our understanding is happening right under our noses. Silent gliding craft.
Miren, vais a creer o reventar jamás en mi vida.
In 2017, a man driving along Argentina's Ruta Nacional 40 encountered something he couldn't have anticipated, a bright light close to the ground that cut through the darkness in front of his car. This light was coming from an unusual coin-shaped craft that appeared out of nowhere on the road. Without a sound, the craft glided from directly in front of him to the roadside, its silent movement adding to the surreal experience of an empty highway. Sitting in his car, he began to record as the light remained intense but oddly controlled. Unlike typical headlights, the way the light seemed to stay contained within the craft made it difficult to understand what kind of technology could produce such an effect.
Miren, vais a creer o reventar jamás en mi vida.
Dual object sighting. South Korea once became the sighting of two mysterious lightning objects that appeared in the sky during nighttime. Recorded by a boy from his apartment balcony, the objects emitted a powerful light but curiously didn't illuminate the surrounding sky, which is unusual for most light sources. As the boy zoomed in on one, another identical object suddenly appeared nearby, behaving in the same way. The phenomenon lasted only a minute or two, with the first object moving backward and vanishing, followed almost immediately by the second object disappearing as well. The synchronized disappearance and their controlled, deliberate movements point to the possibility of a new, unexplained flight pattern, or even a type of UFO with an advanced propulsion system. Defying natural laws. In 1999, locals in Thailand were stunned to witness a mysterious disc-shaped craft in broad daylight. Initially appearing as a glowing light, it soon transformed into a visible disc-shaped object. Later that night, a similar object was seen high in the sky, also glowing brightly. This craft moved at an incredible speed, covering a large distance in mere seconds before disappearing. The two objects, both disc-shaped, seemed strangely connected despite the time gap. What made this even more baffling was the speed of the second craft, which moved with no visible means of propulsion. Scientists mentioned that it seemed to defy the natural laws of movement, making it clear that the phenomenon was not something typical or easily explained. Close call in sky. In the 1990s, a fighter jet flying over the Philippine skies captured an extraordinary sight. A disc-shaped craft appeared suddenly near the jet, flying so close to the side wing that it left pilots in disbelief. The UFO matched the jet's speed, dipped below the wing, and then rapidly accelerated before disappearing. Its smooth maneuvering and high-speed movements showed no hesitation, as if the craft had complete control. The object seemed to be scanning the jet, operating in a way that was unlike anything known to conventional aircraft. Ghostly sky glow. During a city cycling tour in Argentina in 2017, the group's night ride turned into an unexpected encounter with a mysterious object high in the sky. The object stayed completely still, emitting only a faint orange glow that pulsed gently, distinct from any typical aircraft lighting. The orange hue lingered in the night air, casting an unusual light that stood out from the cityscape below. When the cyclists tried to capture it on camera, the object itself didn't appear. Strangely, each witness saw it a bit differently. Some thought it was simply hovering, while others thought it was somehow anchored in place. Despite its presence, the object remained elusive, as if its true form was hidden from technology. Stopping for study. Zona del Silencio, also known as the Zone of Silence, is a secret research facility in Mexico, and this UFO was seen stopping to scan the facility back in 2004. Known for its magnetic anomalies that disrupt radio signals and compasses, the area has long been a subject of fascination. The UFO was first spotted traveling at high speed, but it slowed down and came to a halt directly above the facility. Its deliberate pause over this research center, associated with extraterrestrial phenomena, suggests that it might have been intentionally studying the area's unique magnetic properties. Unlike typical UFO sightings, which feature fast-moving objects, this UFO appeared to be hovering with purpose, as if gathering data. Lights interacting in sky. While taking a break on the side of the highway, a cargo driver noticed two spherical lights glowing in the night sky. He quickly pulled out his phone and started recording, capturing the lights coming from an unidentified object. The two lights were unusually close to each other, suggesting they might be operating together. Moments later, a third object appeared from the ground, matching the same light pattern. It blinked in and out, moving erratically closer to the two lights, then retreating further into the sky before disappearing altogether. Experts believe that the unpredictable movement of the third object seemed intentional, as if it were interacting with the other two, pointing to something beyond the ordinary. Suspended lights in sky. The sky holds many secrets, and this footage could be the proof. In 2002, a man sitting on his farm in Jamaica witnessed strange lights in the night sky. These lights weren't in a straight line, but curved slightly, as though coming from an unidentified spacecraft. The lights blinked but remained perfectly still, defying normal expectations. Their curved formation was unusual, suggesting they were positioned deliberately. Even though they blinked, they didn't move, almost as if they were frozen in place. This stillness in the sky is not typical of most aerial lights. The fact that the lights were only visible from one angle could point to something on the other side, making it all the more puzzling. Colorful sky spectacle. While sailing peacefully on the Beaufort Sea, a young boy witnessed a multicolored disc-shaped UFO appear above the water, emitting a spectrum of rainbow colors that stood out vividly against the sky. Unlike typical lights, which are usually a single color, this vibrant display caught his attention as it moved across the horizon. The UFO moved in an unusual way, hovering briefly before shifting in different directions, giving its movement an unsettling quality. After a brief but unforgettable sighting, the UFO vanished over the horizon without leaving any trace. The lights were visible even in broad daylight, making it all the more remarkable. The rainbow-colored disc-shaped UFO was unlike anything typically seen in the sky, making it an unusual and unforgettable sighting. High-tech hologram theory. This unusual sighting over Texas caught the attention of many in 2022, with footage showing a multicolored light formation moving erratically across the night sky. This wasn't the typical solid colored glow seen in most aerial displays. Instead, the lights shifted through a full spectrum, creating a rainbow-like effect that made the object stand out starkly against the darkness. Some online viewers pointed out the possibility that this was not a physical craft, but perhaps a high-tech hologram. The way the lights changed color rapidly, combined with the object's unpredictable hovering, led to theories connecting it to the Bluebeam project, a concept that claims advanced technology could project realistic 3D images in the sky to mimic alien encounters. Intense sky illumination. One evening, a young boy in China looked up and noticed an unusually bright light drifting across the sky. This wasn't an ordinary star or plane. The light seemed alive, pulsing in a steady rhythm, almost as if it had a heartbeat. The glow around the object was so intense that it concealed any clear shape, creating the impression that it was intentionally cloaking itself. Unlike most light sources which have defined edges, this one's brilliance made its form impossible to identify. It drifted across the sky without a sound, almost as if observing everything below. Vanishing cube object.
Hey, the end of the world is coming. I'm telling you, bro.
While enjoying a peaceful backyard picnic in Hawaii, a family noticed something strange in the sky. A long, straight cloud that seemed a little too defined. Above the cloud was a dark, cube-shaped object slowly rising from the ground. The cube ascended silently, rotating in a precise circular motion as it climbed higher, adding a surreal quality to its presence. Unlike conventional aircraft, it moved quickly upwards, cutting through the sky. Just as abruptly as it appeared, the cube vanished from sight, disappearing without leaving a trace. Its sudden disappearance after rotating and moving upward gave the impression that it showed itself briefly, only to vanish as quickly as it came.
Hey, the end of the world's coming. I'm telling you, bro.
Silent Sky Pyramid. While driving along the iconic US Route 66 in 2022, a man stopped at a rest stop and noticed what he thought was a blinking star. As he zoomed in through his windshield, he discovered it wasn't a star at all, but a pyramid-shaped UFO. The craft was far away but remained completely still in the sky, blinking at a slow, steady pace. Unlike the typical disc-shaped UFOs, this one had a rare three-sided pyramid shape, making it stand out. The reflection of the UFO on the windshield only made the sighting even more unusual. Despite being distant, the UFO maintained its position in the air without any noticeable movement, which is far from what we usually expect from flying objects. Open discussion. During a Senate hearing, the Pentagon released a newly declassified video of a UFO soaring above the Middle East last year. The footage captured by a US military drone shows a mysterious spherical object zooming across the sky above an active military zone. Officials don't know what the fast-moving orb is, with speculations largely being that this could be anything from a spying vessel, but according to experts, this very well is an actual UFO. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again,